We're going to go a little bit out of sequence because we got some really weird information coming out about Matt Gaetz, and it kind of flows better if we go this way. Now, according to Axios, they've got this big scoop, an exclusive, if you will. Matt Gaetz eyes early retirement to take job at NewsMax. Perhaps leftists are just projecting their hopes strongly enough in order to make this a reality, because I can't think of any member currently in the United States House of Representatives that is more in the a thorn in the side of leftists right now than Matt Gaetz. Like, okay, they have a picture of him there at CPAC, and I wasn't necessarily enamored with his speech that he gave there, but the dude is very much on the level, okay? He's very good about policy. He seems to get the idea of populism from Trump. He's a terrific speaker, and it looks like he's along those same lines, and at the same time he also has a very good idea of what it's going to take for him to raise his profile in order to eventually catapult himself towards the presidency, which he's obviously aiming towards, but he also knows that there are steps along the way. You can't just normally go. There are very few people in history. I'm not even sure if there is a modern day example of somebody going straight from the House of Representatives to the presidency, okay? What we've been hearing, at least those who have an ear to the situation, is that he's going to stay in the House, or he might look at a position in Florida until Ron DeSantis' 2 terms are up as governor of Florida, take over the position there, then use that to catapult himself to a run at the White House in 32 or 36, which is fucking insane that we can talk about that timeline, and it doesn't seem like too terribly far into the future. But no, that was the plan the entire time, and this one just doesn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense, really. That's why I just kind of think that it's total speculation at this point. And yeah, if we're going to be talking about speculation and just wild ideas that the left hopes comes true, just stick around for the second half of this, because yeah, this one just, I don't know, it doesn't really resonate all that well. Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida has previously told confidants, privately told confidants. Oh, well, definitely then this is going to happen. Why would you bother fucking writing up the news article? He's seriously considering not seeking re-election and possibly leaving Congress early for a job at NewsMax. Resources with direct knowledge of the talks tell Axios. Interesting. I would love to know who those sources are. The fact that Axios has 3 sources is at least 2 more than I expected. Why this matters: Gaetz is a provocative figure on the right who's attracted attention by being a fierce defender of former President Trump. The Republican also represents a politically potent district in the Florida Panhandle. Yes, one that is very securely Republican, and one that would take a tremendous controversy in order to overturn for some very zealous Democrat to come and sweep in. So Gaetz, 38, so a run in 32 in 11 years would put him at 49, 50. Yeah, he's a young man with a high profile and a long history, a familial history in politics. He's perfectly set up, went to Florida State University, received a law degree from the College of William and Mary. He has served in the Florida House before being elected to Congress in 2016. And like I said, his idea of succession would be from governorship and then to make a run and not just go straight from the House. Well, the party out of power tends to gain seats in midterm election, creating the possibility of Republicans taking control of the House in 2022. A prominent spot in the media could give Gaetz a platform for a future national political role. I believe he's probably doing more for himself right now, being one of the most high profile, along with Jim Jordan. That's about the only other person in the House right now that does have a elevated profile. He would be doing much more for himself, making policy, pushing platforms in the House than on NewsMax. No offense to NewsMax, but they are a far cry from even OAN, which is pointed out there as well, and Fox News as well. So this one just doesn't really resonate all that well. But you know why it's getting spotlight? Because he's being investigated over sexual relationship. Investigated. Let's not let that slide by. God, he has an Easter Island-sized head. Republican Matt Gaetz, a prominent conservative in Congress and a close ally of former President Donald Trump. Literally, what did the AP rip that straight from Axios? Anyways, said Tuesday he's being investigated by Justice Department over a former relationship, but denied any criminal wrongdoing. Yeah, because this just screams as a fucking wild Me Too allegation. Gaetz, who represents part of Western Florida, told Axios that his lawyers were informed that he was the subject of an investigation regarding sexual conduct with a woman. At least it's a woman. Thank God. But that he was not a target of the probe. He denied that he had ever had a relationship with any underage girls and said that the allegations against him were as searing as they were false. What's the allegation, or what's the investigation over? Comments came shortly after the New York Times reported that Gaetz was under investigation by the Justice Department to determine if he violated federal sex trafficking laws and had an inappropriate sexual relationship with a 17-year-old while paying her to travel with him. Now, federal sex trafficking laws, that sounds big, but you know what that means? Taking somebody who is not of age of consent across state lines. I know, right? Now, he denies that this was a sexual relationship, but the age of consent in Florida is 18, so if he's coming back into Florida, there would have been a problem. From Alabama and from Georgia, the only other likely states that he could have been coming from, they are both at 16, which for Alabama and Georgia is not necessarily surprising. Anyways, Gaetz alleged that the allegations were part of an extortion plot by the former Justice Department official who he did not name, which leads us to him being on Tucker, okay? And it's weird. This story continues to get weirder. In an interview on Tucker Carlson tonight, Congressman Matt Gaetz flat out denies rumors that pictures of him and child prostitutes even exist. Fucking buck wild, like I said. He also added that whenever he dated anyone, they were of age and provided for appropriately. Over the past several weeks, my family and I have been victims of an organized criminal extortion involving a former DOJ official seeking $25 million while threatening to smear my name. We have been cooperating with federal authorities in this matter, and my father has even been wearing a wire at the FBI's direction to catch these criminals. The planted leak to the FBI tonight was interpreted to thwart that investigation. No part of the allegations against me are true, and the people pushing these lies are targets of the ongoing extortion investigation. I demand the DOJ immediately release the tapes made at their direction, which implicate their former colleague in crimes against me based on false allegations. Interesting. We don't have anything further on that, just that this story is going to get a lot fucking wilder in the next few days. The meat of the interview is that Gaetz said that both he and his father were working at Florida's FBI in order to bring former DOJ official David McGee to justice. Gaetz told Tucker Carlson that when they both went to dinner a few years ago, Gaetz brought along a female friend. Tucker says he doesn't remember the night in question, but the congressman claims the lady was threatened by the FBI and pressured into trying to implicate Gaetz in a pay-for-play scheme. Gaetz claims the New York Times story was leaked and meant to impede the efforts to apprehend David McGee's alleged extortion effort. When it comes to the New York Times story itself, the majority of the surrounding former tax collector Joel Greenberg, oy vey. The outlet notes that he is an associate of Gaetz, as much as visiting the White House in 2019 approves. There's also connections between Greenberg, Roger Stone, and Milo Yiannopoulos, three very straight men. The majority of the New York Times piece simply lists various aspects of Gaetz' recent political background without directly linking the congressman to Greenberg investigation. Interesting. So just more implications by sources. That's left unclear. But they are going on to say Greenberg himself was implicated by federal officials as having evidence of creating fake ID cards. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of information on this right now. This is one of the only interviews that Gaetz has gave on the situation because it is, well, all but a few hours old at this point. If there's anything that comes out of this shortly, I'll be sure to follow up on it, but I don't know what to make of this. Outside of the fact that I'm always incredibly skeptical whenever it comes to these types of allegations, including what's going on with Cuomo. All we have is just this dude may or may not have done something. Can he prove any of it? No. And that's the type of allegation we have here. Okay. Oh, Gaetz did something. How do you know that? Orange man bad. Okay, cool. Thanks. Your fucking input's very important. And also, if the guy was going to be taking a job at NewsMax, wouldn't you think that he would probably be giving an interview over there instead of going on Tucker Carlson? I don't know. I'm just trying to put two and two together. I know that doesn't make any sense, and I know that these allegations are probably, most likely, going to turn up absolutely nothing. This is just going to be a smear attempt because he is one of the few Republicans that are currently elected to United States Congress that actually has a backbone and stands for something. So, hey, can't catch him flying to Cancun while your state's under fucking feet of snow, or you can't label them a transphobe like Rand Paul. Fucking slap a minor on him. Fuck it. And just make up wilder and wilder accusations. It's not like the Democrats are unfamiliar with charging somebody with allegations that they are on record to have committing, so they know a thing or two about underage sex crimes. And with that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.